Have you ever felt completely exhausted, not from working too hard, but from trying too desperately to save something that has already grown cold and distant? We often pour our energy into empty vessels, hoping they will fill up again, ignoring the quiet signals that tell us it is time to let go. Sometimes we mistake persistence for strength, but in reality, knowing when to pause is the highest form of maturity that a human being can ever achieve. The weight of holding on becomes heavier than the pain of letting go, yet we carry it like a badge of honor until we are broken. In these moments of fading light, we must ask ourselves if the effort is truly worth the loss of our inner peace and our spirit. There is a profound beauty in the ending of a day, a reminder that every cycle must close to make room for a brand new beginning. A single moment can change everything. A leaf falls, a heart settles, and the realization finally dawns that some things simply cannot be fixed anymore. The ripples spread until they vanish into the stillness, much like our efforts when they are directed towards something that no longer wants to be held. Welcome to the art of the pause, where silence becomes the only way to preserve the remaining fragments of respect and love for your own soul. There comes a time when words lose their weight and explanations feel like echoes in a hollow room, failing to reach the ears of the other. When the person across from you no longer seeks to understand, every syllable you utter is just another piece of your heart falling into nothingness. Silence in this moment is not an act of surrender or a sign of weakness. It is the final barrier protecting your dignity from being eroded. We try to bridge the gap with explanations, but some chasms are meant to be left uncrossed for the sake of our own mental well-being. Tick by tick, the clock reminds us that time is our most precious resource, too valuable to be spent on battles that have already been lost. Every second spent pleading for understanding from the unwilling is a second stolen from your own healing and your own future of peace and joy. You look at the world outside and realize it keeps moving, indifferent to the silent storm brewing within the quiet corners of your tired, heavy heart. The realization that you are alone even when someone is present is a bitter pill, but it is the medicine needed to set you free. In the depth of that gaze lies the courage to stop speaking, to stop explaining, and to simply exist in the truth of the current moment. Choosing silence is an act of reclaiming your power, a way to say that your thoughts are no longer available for those who do not value. When words are no longer heard, let your absence be the message that finally brings the closure you have been searching for all this long time. Walking away is an art form, a deliberate choice to step out of the cycle of pain and into the unknown territory of self-discovery and recovery. Each step on these brittle leaves is a testament to the fact that things must break and wither before the new growth of spring can begin. To withdraw in honor means to recognize your worth before it is completely stripped away by the friction of a failing and dying connection between souls. It is not a retreat of the coward, but the strategic movement of a soul that knows its own value and refuses to be treated poorly. An empty bench tells a story of what once was, but it also offers a seat for the person you are currently becoming in this transition. We brush off the remnants of the past, not with anger, but with a gentle hand that acknowledges the history while preparing for the lonely journey. Renting your heart out to someone who doesn't pay in respect is a debt you can no longer afford to carry on your weary shoulders today. Taking a step back allows you to see the whole picture, revealing the cracks you were too close to notice when you were still trying. True self-respect is born in the quiet moment you decide that you will no longer participate in your own unhappiness for the sake of others. Don't wait for the walls to crumble completely before you walk through the door. Leave while there is still enough of you left to rebuild. The art of withdrawing is the ultimate gift to yourself, a sacred boundary drawn in the sand of time to protect your heart's remaining light. In the darkness of the void, we finally find the space to hear our own voices again, undisturbed by the noise of external expectations and demands. When the flame of a relationship goes out, the smoke that lingers is the memory of what was, drifting away into the night air, slowly. You look in the mirror and see a stranger who has survived a war, a person whose eyes now hold a quiet, unshakable kind of peace. Peace doesn't mean the absence of pain. It means the presence of acceptance, the realization that some things are simply not meant to be whole. We touch the relics of our past, one last time, acknowledging the joy and the sorrow they brought before we decide to set them aside. Closing. The box is not an act of hate, but a necessary ritual of storage, moving the past to a place where it no longer hurts. In this hollow space, you learn that being alone is far better than being with someone who makes you feel like you are completely invisible. We turn off the noise of the world and sit in the absolute silence, finding that the void is not empty, but full of potential. Energy. The darkness is a blanket for the soul, a place to rest and recover from the exhaustion of trying to be everything for someone else. In the quiet, you start to hear the rhythm of your own heart again, a steady beat that reminds you that you are still alive. You are learning to love yourself in a way that is kind, patient, and completely unapologetic, finding strength in the very middle of the void. Dawn brings a different kind of clarity, it's a soft light that doesn't burn, but gently reveals the path that has been waiting for you all along. You are like that boat, no longer tied to the shore of expectations, free to drift or sail toward the horizon of your own choosing. Every drop of dew is a fresh start, a reminder that the world renews itself every single day, and so can you if you allow it. Inhale the cool morning air and feel the life returning to your lungs, a simple act of existence that feels like a miracle of freedom. When you choose to walk away and stay silent, you haven't lost anything. You have simply stopped paying a price that was far too high. You are choosing a different path now, one that leads back to the core of who you are, away from the shadows of the past. The ground beneath you feels solid again because it is built on the foundation of your own self-respect rather than the approval of others. Respect from others is a fleeting gift, but the respect you give to yourself is the anchor that keeps you steady during life's greatest storms. There is a lightness in your heart that wasn't there before, a sense of relief that comes when you finally stop carrying the unnecessary weight. The world opens up when you are no longer confined by the need to be understood by those who are committed to misunderstanding you forever. Step into your freedom with your head held high, knowing that your silence was the loudest statement of strength you could ever possibly make. Life is a series of movements and pauses, a rhythmic dance between holding on and letting go, between speaking out and choosing. The golden silence, like the flower that closes at night to protect itself. We too must learn when to pull back and preserve our energy for ourselves. The sky does not apologize for its storms, and neither should you apologize for the boundaries you set to keep your own soul safe. Every wave that retreats to the sea is preparing for its next arrival, just as every pause in your life is preparing you for growth. Do not fear the silence, for in its depths you will find the answers that were drowned out by the noise of your previous struggles. Stopping is not a failure. It is a recalibration of your soul's compass, ensuring you are headed toward a destination that truly welcomes your heart. The horizon is wide, and the possibilities are endless once you stop looking back at the doors that have already been closed and locked. Listen to the quiet melody of your own peace, a sound far more beautiful than the discord of a relationship that was built on sand. You were meant to fly, not to be anchored to the weight of someone else's inability to love you. where you deserve to be. Take this moment to honor your journey, the pain you've endured, and the incredible strength it took to finally choose yourself above all else. The pause is where the healing happens, where the fragments of your pride and joy begin to knit back together into something even more beautiful. Right. Your own story now, one where you are the hero who had the courage to stop when the road no longer led to happiness. Remember that honoring yourself is the beginning of a lifelong romance, a commitment to your own peace that will never ever lead you astray. Be patient with your heart as it learns to beat to its own rhythm again, free from the heavy echoes of the past and others. Don't be afraid to pause, for sometimes it is the only way to save the last pieces of love and pride within your beautiful soul.